Good morning, everybody. Hi, my name is Karen Kong, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and welcome to my This or That Thursday. Every week I try to post 2 cards in my Facebook group, and I ask my crafting community, that's all of you guys, to vote on a card for me to make live on Thursday mornings. And I encourage everybody to join in, even if you're a first-time watcher or a seasoned watcher. I like it if you join in and chat, comment, and say hi to me, tell me where you're watching from. It's always nice to have company when I'm crafting. So today is the last one before summer break. I don't generally do lives when the kids are at home and my husband's in the house, and I just feel weird. I don't know, I just feel weird talking to what seems like myself sometimes. Hi Sandra. Yeah, I feel weird talking to myself when everybody's in the house and telling them to be quiet in the background and all that. So I usually don't do any lives during the summer. So this will be the last one until September and the kids start school. I might pop on, like, if I have something that I have to share and, I have a moment without the kids in the house. We'll see. My daughter actually wants to come on with me. She doesn't want to be on the screen, but she wants to do some live stamping. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if we can come up with something. Oh, okay. You're gonna have to drop off after. Well, hopefully we'll be done by 10. So, all right. So let me just get the computer set up so I can see all your comments while I'm crafting. Just a second. So I don't know where you are, if you're watching from a location that's affected by the wildfire smoke, but we are experiencing wildfire smoke again here in Ottawa. The air quality level is bad outside. It's going to be terrible. Good morning, Maureen. How's the air quality out where you are? Hopefully you aren't having any problems. Who would have thought? Like, we went from wearing masks indoors, and now I wear masks outdoors. Just to avoid breathing in all those little tiny particles of smoke and all the nasty stuff in the air. Okay, I've got my computer set up. Oh, it's good where you're at. Good. I'm glad you're able to enjoy the outdoors. Okay, so computer set up. I'm going to switch over to my desktop, and we'll just start off with taking a look at some cards that we made. I wanted to share the cards we made for during Creativity Now. Thanks, Maureen. Yeah, hopefully it'll clear up. I think it's supposed to clear up maybe Canada Day, but we're supposed to get more rain, so we'll see. All right, so I'm just going to switch over to my desktop. Just close your eyes for a second while I move the camera around, okay? Okay. Here we go. This is all right. So we're working with all this today, but there's a couple of things I wanted to show you before we get started. We made cards for Creativity Now, so if you're a demonstrator, you get invited to special events that Stampin' Up! Holds, and Creativity Now was just solely a crafting event for demonstrators this past last weekend, and we made 3 cards with a stamp set that hasn't been released yet. It's coming up in the new mini catalog that will be released in September, but demonstrators got access to buying this stamp set ahead of time for this event. I didn't buy this set yet. I was lucky enough to have one of my team members buy it, and she shared it with us. And so we made the 3 cards, and I did not I've never done stamping. Sorry, not stamping. We die cut these. So these are not stamps. It's basically we colored with blends markers, and we used the dies to cut out the petals, which was a really cool technique. I have not tried that before, and it looks really nice. It's translucent, and that's the name of the set. I think it's Translucent Flowers, and it looks beautiful. So this is the other card. And I'm kind of liking this stamp. It's different. It's not like a floral, and it's not quite like a full leaf. It's interesting, different from what I usually have. And then these are some of the flowers. So Very different from what I usually have. It's not your usual flower stamp set, so it's different. Okay, so those are the 3 cards that we made. They had advanced cards, but we couldn't keep up, I think. The other thing I wanted to show you, so I was convinced, okay, there's a new color out there called Lost Lagoon, okay, and I thought Lost Lagoon looked a lot like Soft Succulent, and I was not convinced that I need this color, so I had not, I didn't put it on my wish list. I didn't buy that one yet. However, I did buy the combo pack of all the new core colors, and it included 2 sheets of Lost Lagoon. So I compared it to Soft Succulent. So I have Soft Succulent here, and it's actually quite different. So here's Soft Succulent. Where is my, okay, here's my piece of Lost Lagoon. All right, look how different that is. Whoops, sorry, I bumped the camera. Yeah, so look how different that is. It's not the same at all. I thought I could get away with just, you know, substituting the 2 possibly. I don't have any DSP to match it with yet, but I can see that if I were to try to substitute Soft Succulent, it wouldn't work. So yeah, so it's more different than I thought it was. So I thought I'd show you guys because I know I was not convinced I needed Lost Lagoon. So there you go. Let me just put that away. Yeah, it's hard to tell, and I have seen other, you know, other comparisons online, but, you know, the computer screen and the colors of your monitor can play tricks with you, so it's easier to see when it's in person. But at least I, you know, can show you next to each other, you know, what they look like. But the Lost Lagoon is very pretty, and I'll tell you that I did not think of this color combination on my own. So I'm part of a Facebook group called Color Inspirations, I think it's called, and they have lots of amazing color palettes that they challenge people to use, and this is one of the palettes they've got up for this week. I didn't use, I think I'm missing one of the colors, but I used that as inspiration for this card. So I used Fresh Freesia, Pretty Peacock, and Lost Lagoon. So I'm really happy with how it looks. And the card is going to be from my daughter's 11th birthday next week. So she loves cats, and she loves like blues, and I think, I don't know if she loves the Pretty Peacock, but I love it, and I think she'll like it. And the Fresh Freesia, I think she'll also like. So yeah, so that's the basis for my inspiration for my card this week. And oh yes, and the ombre technique for the letters. That's something I found a while back, and I hadn't had a chance to try it. So it took me a few tries to kind of get the right look, because I used a dark color. The original card that I saw it on, they used a lighter color, so it was easy to layer. Sandra says I didn't make her a card with a 0 afternoon. Well, yeah, I know. So that's the one she's decided she loves, but I don't have it. I don't have the ink. I don't have the. Oh wait, I probably do have the paper because I have the mixed cardstock pack, but yeah, I didn't choose a 0 afternoon. We'll have to see about that. So yeah, so anyways, the original card that I saw with the ombre technique on it, they used a very light color and added layers to make it darker. Whereas Pretty Peacock, I kind of had to work backwards kind of, because it's a dark color. So even stamping it once was very dark. So I had to stamp off several times and to make the lightest color. So let's get started. Oh, hi Joan, thanks for jumping in. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut things. I have this piece of Lost Lagoon already cut out. If you're watching for the first time, don't worry about writing down all the measurements. I always update my video afterwards with all the measurements that I used, so you don't have to worry about writing it down while you're watching me make the card. Okay, so this one is Lost Lagoon in 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, and it's left over from what I cut for here. Let's cut the card base and the white. Let's get this out of the way and we'll get going. So it's the last day of school here for elementary school kids. My son is done. He's done high school grade 11. He just finished his finals last week, so he's already out, but you know, high school kids hide in their bedrooms, so you never see them. But my daughter will, once she's home, you know, it's loud, it's noisy, she wants my attention. So I am savoring this last day of quiet to try and get some projects, you know, on its way. Yeah, so I don't know about you guys, but it's going to be kind of busy for me for the next little while. I have family coming to visit, my daughter is going to be home, and I'll be cooking for like 7 people for a week. So yeah, it's going to be busy. Sandra says, biggest wish is another set. I think should have had a coordinating die set. Oh yeah, that would have been really helpful. I did fussy cut the word happy, and it definitely would have been easier if they had a die for that, but oh well. Okay, so this is an 8.5 11 sheet of paper. I'm just going to cut it in half, which is at 5.5 inches. And if you don't have a paper trimmer from Stampin' Up, you really have to get one because all the measurements are here. It makes it super easy to measure out and cut. And then I have 2 blades on here. This is the scoring blade. This one is the cutting blade. Oops, can't show you because it's off the screen, sorry. Scoring blade and cutting blade. All right. So let me cut 5.5 inches, and then I'm going to turn it again, and at the halfway mark, which is 4 1/4, I'm going to score it to make it easy to fold my card and get a nice clean edge. Clean fold, I mean. Okay, so that's my card base. All right, let me see what else I need to get. So my Lost Lagoon is done. I need a piece of white. So my white is 3 by 4. So let's see. Let me just get my ruler. I'm just going to check. This is a scrap piece I have, so I'm just going to double check. So this is already 4 1/4 a bit. Okay, so I'll cut 3 inches this way. And then cut it down to 4. It's just a small piece off. Okay, and then I need the strip that goes behind the everything, the DSP. It's just, this is from the Dandy Designs DSP pack that was a celebration freebie. So this is 2 by 5.5. Okay, so I'm going to cut off 5.5 this way first. And then cut it down to 2 inches wide. Oops. Okay, I think that's all I need. All right. So of course the most time-consuming part for this card is the stamping, and I need the Stamparatus. Okay. So I'm sorry for any of you who did not get a Stamparatus before they retired it. It's absolutely my favorite tool, and I use it all the time, as most of you know, and anybody who's watched my lives. Okay, so let me see. What am I going to do first? I'm going to do the birthday, okay? So let me put my card back up here so you can see it. All right. So the word birthday, the way I stamped it is I did it in layers. So I have to stamp off to get the lightest layer, and then I keep adding in sections additional ink. Okay, so let me get the stamp out. Okay. All right, so let's line this up here. And I'm going to make sure it's stuck well, because if it moves during stamping, I'm going to blur the lines of the edges of my letters, because I have to do it so many times, right? So this is after many, many iterations. I did this a few times before I got the hang of what I wanted it to look like, and then also to realize that I really have to have this secured well so that it doesn't move. Okay, so this is not quite center. It's from top to bottom because I need room for my cat. and my cat sits on top. So it's about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, and I center it this way. So, okay, so I'm gonna have to pick it up with my panel, and then I will double check that it's straight. Okay, so I'm just gonna use the grid line here to kind of eyeball, and it looks straight to me. Okay, all right. So let's give this a shot. Okay, so I'm gonna take my pretty Peacock. Where did I put it? All right, I have a question for you guys. I have not used the pretty Peacock a lot, but it's an older ink pad, and because it's been retired, right? And I bought this before it actually. Did I buy it when it retired? I might have gotten it like when it was like on clearance when it was retiring. So it's not a brand new Stamps ink pad, and I'm finding it's a little bit sticky. And I have re-inked it a little bit with the re-inker, but I'm wondering, you know, because I know that the ink in it, like, there's still lots of color. It's just that it's drier, because a little bit drier, it's slightly sticky. And I'm wondering, is there a product out there just to remoisten? Is that the right, I don't know, the right term, I guess? Remoisten the ink pad with, because I don't need more color, I need more moisture. Anyways, I just thought that was something I'd throw out there. I don't know if you guys know. I don't know. I know that Stampin' Up! Doesn't have something like that. I think it's just the re-inkers that they have. Hi, Tara. Oh, you only have a few minutes before your meeting. Okay, well, thanks for joining in. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up. So let's, wait, I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper. Okay, so I have a piece of scrap here. I used it to line up my cat. Okay, so anyways, I'm just going to stamp off. So when I did the lightest layer here, because this is a dark color, I actually stamped off twice before I put it to the paper. Okay, so I'm going to ink it up here. See, it's like, I can feel it sticky. Okay, so, and it's not inking as quickly, so I have to do it several times. I think after this I'm going to have to put more ink on the pad. Okay, so let's stamp off twice. So once, and then twice. Okay, and now I'm going to put it on my paper. Okay. All right. So I think I want, like, so it came out a little bit darker. Maybe I didn't press evenly the first couple of times when I stamped off, but that's okay. All right, so I'll do it maybe one more time. I'm going to do it really light again, so I will stamp off twice again, just to add a little bit more color to the one side. See, I keep doing this until I can see that it's like evenly inked up. Let me just get rid of the ink on the panel there. There we go. Yeah, Tara, I didn't think I needed the Biggest Wish set, and I've held off for a while, but I like how it, the thanks actually matches the font from the Amazing Thanks dies. Actually, they match almost exactly. So I'm thinking of doing something interesting with that. I just haven't figured out what yet. Okay, so that's all I want to do for that layer. So now, oh, see, it moved. I can see that, I think it moved. Oh, maybe it's just the way it's inking. Okay, anyways, let's move on. Let's continue and we'll see how it turns out, okay? So for the next layer, I'm gonna ink up only like this much of it, okay? So I'm gonna take my ink pad. This side is easier to tell where the ink pad ends. So I'm just gonna ink down to there. Okay, and then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a sponge dauber, because I don't want a straight line right there. I'm going to take my sponge dauber and just dab it across here to soften the line there. See how that just takes away this edge? Okay, so now I'm going to stamp off again, right? Because I don't want it to be really dark. I want it to be able to achieve like the gradient look, right? So, whoops, let's get that out of the way. Okay, so that's slightly darker. And I'm thinking I want to like somehow fix this because I can see there's a line right there. And I'm wondering if I can just do that by inking up just the bottom a little bit with the sponge daubers, because the sponge dauber doesn't pick up nearly as much ink and it's very light. So look at that, like it's super light. I'm just going to take this and stamp off once to make sure I'm not adding too much color. Okay, so that I can still see the line there, but it is what it is. I'm just going to, let's see. See, this is why it took me several tries to get exactly the right look. But, you know, it's fun. I don't mind. It was fun attempting to do this and trying to figure out how I was going to do it. So I'm going to try and add a little bit more shading here because now it looks like all one depth, right? There's not as much ombre. So let's try this again. I'm going to put it on part of the way up. Okay, I'll take my dauber and just soften that line there. I don't know actually. There's probably, I wonder even if I do this, like just by dabbing this off, I wonder if I could achieve that same effect. We could try it. Maybe we'll try it after. Whoops. So I tried this, you know, many times yesterday to try and achieve it the way I thought I was going to, like the way I achieved it yesterday, but it could be easier. I don't know. But anyways, all right. So I don't think I need to stamp off quite so much. So let's do this one more round and I won't stamp off twice. I'll just stamp off once. Okay, so I'm going to stamp off once. And we'll stamp right on now. Okay, so let's add just to the top section now. Okay, I'm going to soften the line again. And I didn't stamp off at all because I want full strength at the top. That looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. It's not as light as the original, but you still get the ombre effect there. Okay, so just for fun, I'm just going to take another sheet and I'm going to try inking it up and using my sponge dauber to take off like the layers. And I could see it was an ombre right on the stamp. So let's see if we can achieve it without having to do it so many times, just for fun. Let me find a sheet of paper. You know what? I'm going to cut it to the size I need and make a third card if this works out. Okay, so this is, let me see, 4 1/4. Okay, I'm going to cut this off camera just because I don't want to have to move my Stamparatus too. And I'll be back in a second. So 3 by 4. Okay, here, I'm back. All right, so here's another one, and let's try just using the sponge dauber, and we'll do it one time, and let's see if this works. That would be amazing. I can imagine how much time I would have saved last night, you know, doing this. Okay, so I'm gonna ink it up fully. All right, I'm gonna take my sponge dauber. Oh, I shouldn't have done it all the way to the bottom. Okay, let me start again, because I'm going to end up with like full strength on the bottom. Well, let's see. If I do this, I don't think I'm going to be able to take off enough. I think that's going to be too dark. Just a second. Nothing like experimenting live. If I do this, I don't know if that's going to work though. All right, let's try this. See, do you see this? It's like the ink is beading up after I left it for too long. So let me just ink up the top again. Okay, and we'll just soften that line again. And let's see what kind of effect we get. I'm gonna use my sponge dauber to add a little bit more ink at the bottom there. Oh, and it's beading up again. Just a second. I'm gonna have to be faster. Okay, let's go. Not too bad. I could have saved myself all kinds of time last night, it appears. Okay, let me just clean that off. Yeah, that wouldn't work. That actually worked out really well. So if you have like just a block, you could ink up part of your stamp. Use the sponge dauber to dab off like what you don't want. Like just to, you know, like ink up down to here maybe. And then spread out the ink and add some ombre effect to it. I'm just going to use the sponge dauber because I can see it's like got some gaps in here and stuff. I'm just going to add a little bit in and see if that fills in the white just lightly. Not bad. You know, this is pretty good too. That was way less work. But you could definitely achieve this with just a block, I think. Nice. I'm happy with that. I would do that again instead of the other way. That's cool. All right, so now we have two ways to do it. The harder way, which I think you would have a little bit more control over the shading, but, you know, hard to say. I think, you know, with a bit of practice and a bit of trial and error, it could probably achieve the same look without as much trouble. But still, you know, I had fun. I have fun using my sponge dauber. I hadn't used them in a while, so it's kind of nice to bring that out. Okay, all right, so let me clean this off before I get more ink on my fingers. And we'll move on to stamping the cat. I do love the cat, and I know my daughter loves cats. We can't have a cat yet. My husband hasn't agreed to having a cat, and we would have to somehow cat-proof the house. I know that cats are mischievous, and they might decide, you know, to get into all sorts of things. You know, God help the cat if it touches all my paper and like gets into my crafting stuff. I don't have a way to lock things up or close a door anywhere, so but I would love to have a cat. My husband's not an animal person, and I don't think my son is either, so we're divided in our household. My daughter would absolutely love to have a cat. Okay, so let me get the other stamp out. Okay, so I have it mounted already. It's the, what set is this again? This is the Love Cat set, which is retired, but he is so cute. Okay, so I got to take out the foam pad because this is a cling stamp, and I don't need the foam pad underneath, so I'm going to take that out. I think I have this lined up in the same spot that I had it yesterday, so let me just double check it though. Okay, so it does look like he's lined up with in the right spot. Yay! Okay, so I had actually cut this, so I don't know if you guys had seen the first time I'd used this, but if you notice, if you have this set, there's actually a bunch of hearts that was originally attached to this cat, and I separated them by cutting the stamp, which was terrifying, I'll tell you. But it's much more useful this way because I don't have to have the hearts. So it just occurred to me I could use the heart to fill in some of the white space here, because I found that I was thinking there's like a lot of white space here and I wanted to fill it in with something, but I didn't know quite what, and I didn't have quite the right embellishments, but maybe I'll take the heart stamp and add those on. Okay, so this is just the cat without the hearts, and I'm just going to use plain black ink to ink him up. So does anybody have pets in their house and they're either you or your spouse or somebody in the family did not want a pet, and like, I'm curious, did anybody manage to convince their the other half to get a pet when they say they didn't want one? Just curious. All right, so here we go with the cat. I'm going to probably stamp him at least twice because I want him to be nice solid black. Okay, so that's good, but I think he can be darker. Really? Sean didn't want the bunny? I'm surprised. How did you convince him that you wanted a bunny? Well, I guess you didn't have to convince him you wanted a bunny. How did you convince him to let you, to have a bunny in the house? Oh, my cat looks so good. Okay, I'm just going to press the paw a little bit more. There. Now he's filled in. Love it. I love the cat. Karis has seen, memes on Facebook and stuff where, there's like funny pictures about, dads who did not want the dog or the cat. And then you see them, putting the dog, into his bed and put the blanket up and making sure that the pet is like so loved. And she's like, that's going to be dad. I was like, I don't think so. I don't know. I can't picture it, but maybe one day we'll be able to convince him. I don't know. I would love to have a pet. I do love animals. All right, so that's my cat and my birthday all done. Okay, now we need happy. And happy, I need to move back to the other panel. I won't bother moving this yet. Because I know I have to stamp the other one, the other piece of birthday paper. All right, so I don't need the birthday anymore, and I can move this. I need another scrap piece to stamp my happy, and I need my foam mat again. Okay, because the photopolymer stamps don't have any sort of cushion or pad. And here's my white scrap. Huh, 3-to-1. Still, like, I can't imagine. I don't know. Can't imagine that my husband's gonna cave anytime soon. I'll have to push harder, I think. All right, so birthday. Oh my gosh, look at my hand. I've got like ink all over this. I hope I don't like get it on my card. Okay, here's the happy. I don't know how much. Oh, you know what? The Pretty Peacock ink pad. I stored it incorrectly. I had stored it this way or this way, I forget, like vertically, not lying flat, and the ink had leaked out because it was very wet at one point, and so I guess it just keeps, I thought I'd cleaned it before, but I guess not enough. I'll have to do it again. Anyways, okay, back to business. I wonder if happy will fit here. Oh, it'll fit that way across. Okay, I'll just do it this way. I'm going to be fussy cutting it, so it doesn't matter if it's straight. I just need it to fit on the piece of paper, and then I will cut it out. Let's put it here so it doesn't move over there. All right. Okay, I have another question for you, Sandra. So since he did not want the pet, does he help take care of him at all? Or was it part of the agreement that you guys take care of the pet and he does not have to look after it? Because I imagine that if we get a pet, you know, I can't reasonably expect him to look after it if it's my, you know, our pet and we wanted it, but he didn't. So I would expect that I would have to do all the cleaning up and you know, feeding and taking care of him. That's what I would expect. Okay, so there's my happy, and I'm going to stamp it again because I like a brighter look to the sentiments. Because I always find that letters they stand out much more when you stamp it twice. So I always do my sentiment stamping with my Stamparatus. Okay, that's if I have a choice. But some ink pads stamp really well. Like I find like the Night of Navy, I never have to stamp twice. Just getting out my squeegee, my chamois. Okay. Now let's get this off, and I can move this now. I don't need my Stamparatus anymore. Okay. So he doesn't, he actually just, he actually gained an appreciation for the bunny, if I understand correctly. Which is not bad. I mean, like, you know, it's probably more progress. Like, well, okay, was he an animal lover to begin with? Like, does he like animals at all? Because I don't think my husband likes animals. Like, he has no real liking towards animals at all. So, although I did think I see him play with my sister's cat, like, just once, you know, but I don't think he really gets into it like I do. Okay, so I'm just fussy cutting here. Bear with me, because like fussy cutting is like, I can't do it quickly. I've seen some people do it really quickly and they do really well at it. I don't want to make a mistake on the spacing, because that's the part I find challenging about fussy cutting, is maintaining the right white space, like even white space all around. So okay, I'm just reading Sandra's comments that he doesn't love pets, but he prefers the bunny because the bunny is quiet and requires less maintenance. Yes, that's true. Like the cat, like, gets into trouble. Like my sister's cat he's just over a year old and he's been getting into all kinds of trouble. He's like a real jumper, and I think he was jumping up to the window in the basement. So the the windows in the basement are up high, right? So I don't know where he was jumping from, but he took a flying leap and he cut his head because he hit his head on the ceiling, and they found a tuft of his hair stuck to the ceiling. That's how high he went, and cut his head. So it was a minor injury, I guess, but still. Hard enough that he cut his head and lost some fur. And then I think he got into the girls' bathroom and I don't know, we don't know what he was doing in there, but there was a big crash and he had cut his paw. So they had to take him to the vet to have it looked at, and I don't think it needed stitches, but he had to wear the cone of shame for a while to prevent him from licking at it. So yes, he's been getting into stuff. You have to keep an eye on him, and play with him to tire him out, and you know, which is fair. I mean, like, he's home all day and he doesn't go outside, so he needs entertainment. Okay. Thank you for your patience as I fussy cut this word happy. Is everybody as slow as I am? Like, or do we have some expert fussy cutters out there who can whip through this faster than me? It's hard to check the comments when you're trying not to make a mistake in fussy cutting. And then you might hear some swearing. My sister refuses to buy any stamp sets that doesn't have dies to go with them, and I feel the same way, but then, you know, then I see stamp sets that are just so cute and like so useful, but there are no dies, like the Taco Fiesta and this set. My goodness. I'm almost there, guys. Hang in there. Don't fall asleep on me. If you're watching on replay, at least you can fast forward. Try not to get too many corners on my curved sections. There we go. Not too bad. All right, yay, that's done. No, as far as I know, Cassandra, Kathy does not buy any die sets with no cording stamp set. I don't know. I would say that she mostly buys bundles. She's, you know, unless it's something like, you know, the frames or something, like I could see her buying something like that, but like buying one that has a stamp set, a coordinating stamp set, and not buying the stamps, I don't know if she would do that. So, okay, I think we're ready for assembly. I'm going to put this aside. So let's get my card base back here. I'll fold it over and burnish it. But sadly, she's been so busy. I don't see her crafting a lot lately. She usually makes a lot of beautiful cards too, but she's been super, super busy and hasn't had time. Okay, so first things first, we're going to attach this to the middle. So I'm going to get out my glue. So I'm curious, for those of you watching, do you think you get more crafting done during the summer or less? Because a lot of people spend a lot of time like at the cottage or outdoors, and they're not at home. And even though their schedule is technically quieter, because I don't know, for us it's like not so much of the running around for dance and everything, but there's other things going on, right? So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get quite as much crafting done, just simply because my daughter's home and she's more demanding than my son. Okay, so this is very slightly hanging off. So I'm just going to take my scissors. Let's see if I can, I don't know if I can trim that. That's like sliver. There we go. There we go. Gone. Tiny bit here. Okay. Then I get the Lost Lagoon. Yeah, the continuous food prepping and cleaning up, that definitely kills my time. Constantly making the next meal and the next snack. That definitely kills time. Okay, so let's put this guy on top. Although your kids, Sandra, are old enough to like help, they could actually be responsible for some of that food prep and cleanup, right? And I could probably expect more from my daughter. She's going to be 11, so I think she can help more. Okay, where did my happy go? Let's see. What did I do with it? Here it is. It's stuck. Okay, I'll put a little bit of glue on back here. So I'm just going to, I like to use little dots because I find when I'm just putting swirls or long lines, I somehow lose control and then it goes off the edge, or it's too close to the edge and you get glue oozing out. So I work with just small dots. And my tweezers always come in handy. Okay, so I put the happy up here because I thought it looked kind of like the cat was looking at it. I think that looks straight. All right, I'm going to tie some ribbon around there. So let's see, I just need this much, and then I will show you how I, whoops, tie that on afterwards. Okay, so now I'm going to need some tear and tape or stamp and seal. Okay. So I put just a smidgen of stamp and seal on the back. That's not pulling off properly. There we go. All right. So then I just attach it this way. And the good thing is that I can reposition quite easily. So that was a little bit too high. And I put it there. Just pull it across. And I wrap it around. Whoops, I didn't quite get the tape. Okay, so there we go. Easy peasy. Okay, and then I take a small bit and I will tie it around. Right here. Oh, I think I cut it just a tiny bit short. I needed to cut that a little bit longer to make it easier to work with, but let's see if we can do this. I think that works. I'll just trim the ends. Okay, the good thing about tying a knot like this is that I can just pull it along. Like I think that's too far over, I'm just going to pull it over. It's so easy to adjust. All right, so whoops, the back of this is stuck. Okay. Okay, I'll trim that after I stick it on so that it doesn't continue to stick to my desktop. Okay, glue. Oh, this is not where I use glue. I use dimensionals for this. Let's see. Okay, so I'm using the edges. So I've used up all the dimensionals in here, and I just use the edges for this. So don't throw away your dimensionals, you know, when you've got the edges left still. Use them for long side pieces instead. Okay, some more here. There we go. Okay. All right, and I'm going to put some on this side and in the middle. Okay, and I'll just pull off the backings and we can stick it down. I wish I had time to make a reel of this, but I have some other projects on the go that I really want to spend time with on today before officially summer begins and everybody's home. This is my last few hours of quiet time, so I got to make full use of it because I like having a quiet house to think. I don't know about you, but I can't think when it's busy and it's noisy around me, like if my daughter's home. My husband can like tune everything out and he can still work and not be disturbed by all the noise. I cannot do it. I need quiet to myself and I need a chunk of time to work on stuff like this. Okay. Oh, I didn't do any stamping of the hearts. Maybe I'll have to bring that back out. We'll see after. Okay, so there we go. And this edge. And there's our card. I might put another cat inside. I think that's what I did for this one. I just stamped this guy and I colored in the little heart in Fresh Freesia. But that's pretty much the card. And so I'm going to use the other method, the second method that we discovered today, where I just used a sponge dauber to take off some of the ink color. I think that was like way easier. So you have two ways that you've seen me do it today. One way was a little bit longer, so you can try whichever way you want and see what you come up with. But it was a simple card to make, except for and it was fun. You know, the ombre was a little bit longer, but now you've seen like a fast way to do it. And I hope you enjoy creating something similar. Okay, so guys, you know, I'm sad that I won't be on live. I won't be creating weekly with you guys until September, but have a wonderful summer and a good break. And I will still post, you know, if I have time. And I hope that you can do some crafting this summer too and relax. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you guys in September. Have a great break. Thanks for joining in every week, guys, and we'll see you soon. Okay, bye.